Women single-handedly spend about $20 trillion every year. How much of that is some guy's money? All of it. How do I know? Well, just stop and listen. Do you hear that? That's the sound of millions of women pushing their man's buttons and him caving in and handing over his cold, hard cash. I'm just kidding, ladies. Don't cancel me. We love you. In all honesty, anyone can find themselves in a bad financial situation, even us guys. If you found a sugar mama and you have to ask her for some money to get you out of a pinch, then good for you. Because even though research has shown that women are more likely to ask for money in a relationship, I'd say that's a win for equality. That's why I want to take a moment to provide some insight as to why it's so common for women to ask their guy for money when they're in a relationship. And when it happens to us, do we give it to him or do we tell him to kick rocks? Sometimes women ask their boyfriends for money because they're too embarrassed to ask anyone else. Look, life throws curveballs at us sometimes. You might have unexpected expenses that come your way and you need a little bit of financial help. And let's face it, who better to ask than the person that you love and trust the most? And if you're the boyfriend, that's you. I do want to acknowledge that as a guy, we experience a range of emotions when we get asked for money. Some of us are elated that such a strong, independent, beautiful specimen of a person is even asking us for money. But sometimes our overprotective side comes out, especially if it isn't the first time she asks for money. Did she seriously just ask me for 2 more bands? I know she's going through some kind of rap phase, but what does that even mean, 2 bands? Who is she? And now we're going to start investigating a little bit. Like, we want some more information before we start handing over the goods. And then the darkest place a guy can get is feeling used, emasculated, and manipulated. Look, some of these guys, they are in denial. You know, they could be getting used, but they don't want to confront their girlfriend out of fear of losing her. But don't worry. The red pillars have a solution for curing this type of behavior. Look, you just call the guy a simp over and over again. Eventually, he becomes aware of his simpish behavior, he dumps his manipulative girlfriend, hits the gym, and becomes Andrew Tate. It works every time. But seriously, most guys do worry about getting used when their girlfriend starts asking them for money. Luckily for us guys, there's a few obvious red flags to look out for. So let's just run through them real quick. One of the first ones is the length of time that 2 people have been in a relationship. The length of time that 2 people have been in a relationship should really determine whether or not anyone should be asking for money. Hopefully nobody's asking for money on the first date. If you're asking for money on the first date, obviously that's a red flag. Another thing to consider is how frequently they're asking for money and how much money they're actually asking for. Now, if they're asking for money all the time, that's obviously a red flag. That's something you need to confront them about and identify, why they keep asking for money. Hopefully you can determine what that is before you decide to give them any more money. And if what they're asking for is even a reasonable amount, let's say she needs $500. Now that might not be a big deal for some guys, but for other guys, that could be a deal breaker. Now, if she wants $500 after the first date and you think you got lucky, well, think again, because you picked up a hooker.
That seems kind of expensive.
Expensive?
Can you break 100? I got 100 right here.
No, baby, I'm not going to break 100.
Let's say a guy does give his girlfriend some money. Now, it doesn't matter the frequency or the amount, but at the end of it, he doesn't feel good about it. Now, in my opinion, that's an automatic conversation in the future because he can't give her any more money until he's ironed out whatever's going on. He doesn't want to be stuck with any feelings of resentment, feeling used or manipulated in the future. So he's going to have to iron that out with his girlfriend. Another reason women ask their boyfriends for money is because they're socialized to ask us for money. A woman who grows up with a father or a father figure or some person that cares about them and loves them probably gave her whatever she needed. His baby girl asked him for some money. He's going to give him some money.
Honey, I'm going to go to the mall with the girls. I need some cash.
Honey, I gave you money last week.
Okay, I need money. I have no money.
Lord have mercy. Here, it's $100.
$100?
Huh? Well, I guess you don't want it.
Hey, Pops.
Hey, honey.
I'm going to the mall with my friends. Can I have some money?
Girl, you ain't got to ask me twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hold on, I'm not done. In case you run my cash, go hit the credit card. You good, girl, you good.
Thank you so much.
You good, don't worry about it, man.
I got 2 daughters. They don't usually ask for money because they're 7 and 9, but they do ask me for candy instead. And let me tell you, they got all the candy in the world. They literally have buckets of candy. There's nothing wrong with giving your girl some sugar every now and then. Another reason women ask their boyfriends for money is because she may not make as much money as you. Not because of the wage gap. She could be finishing college, working a part-time job. She could love her job. She could love her career, but just be in a non-STEM career field that doesn't have a super high salary. Or she could be just starting a business. She's on her way to being a boss babe, but today she's a broke babe. There was a time in my life when my wife was making more money than me. She was in finance. I was starting a new business. But by the time we had our first kid, we felt like it was time for her to stop working full time so we could start growing a family. Now, we already had a joint bank account at the time. So when she was no longer contributing to the account, it wasn't like she needed to come ask me for money. And when I wasn't contributing to the account, when I was starting my new business, I didn't go ask her for money. Couples in a relationship are basically practicing the act of being married. Eventually, these relationships, women, they get pregnant. And at that time, they rely solely on their partner to provide resources and care for them. They don't ask you to take care of them. They expect you to take care of them. There's an expectation of provision and care when you're in a relationship that you automatically have as the boyfriend. So that title also comes with status because she chose to be with you instead of anyone else. And she trusts that you're going to take care of her like her father took care of her. Hopefully she had a father that took care of her like that. That's why under the right conditions, meaning there's no manipulation, there's no dependency, nothing like that, if a woman is asking her man for money, it's a green flag, at least in my opinion, because she clearly reads the Bible. It means that she knows it's better to give than to receive.